Why are daily events shaking the earth? Teaching 184. Thus says the Lord. Humanity, you have fallen into a state of darkness, but the moment has arrived for you to enter into the light. I have sent Elijah to awaken you from your sleep. How can you feel my presence if you are asleep? Do not wait for me to return to earth in human form. Since you are now more spiritually evolved, I have come in spirit during this era, a more elevated way of manifesting myself than in the previous two eras. I do not need a physical body to dwell among you, nor are human words necessary to communicate with you. I am with you as your divine teacher, judge, and doctor. Your spirit has many senses and attributes to receive my messages. In the past, you have ignored those attributes, believing that you can only perceive and hear me with your physical eyes and ears. I will prove to you that that is not true, because during moments of silence and prayer, you will feel my presence and become inspired. Although you still lack spiritual enlightenment, your inspirations, elevated ideas, noble feelings, and loving deeds will enlighten you and others. You are similar to Lazarus in the tomb because you lack spiritual enlightenment. But in the presence of my voice, you will arise to follow me and to offer testimony of my truth. The events that make the nations throughout the world tremble are the voices of justice that are asking you to repent, to pray, to amend, and to cleanse your stains. This period of ordeals will continue until men cease to be stubborn and foolish and abandon their pride and wickedness. When humanity becomes purified, the period of ordeals will cease, and humanity will become inspired by divine inspirations, spiritual manifestations, and revelations from nature. They will enlighten you spiritually and guide you to a better life. What can man do to achieve the most grace? He can achieve it by practicing charity. Charity will not only help him become virtuous, but also offer the spirit an opportunity to share with others. When you practice charity, it will help those you are helping develop great faith, although they are experiencing misery, suffering, poverty, and sickness. Mankind hungers for love and only awaits the seed and the water to make it blossom. Those who preach my word on earth may believe that it is impossible to prevent evilness, hatred, and bad passions from spreading. For me, that is not impossible. I do not consider humanity's return to righteousness and justice a difficult thing to accomplish. Have you seen those leaders who govern great nations? Are you familiar with the strength of their laws and doctrines? Have you not seen how the scientists attempt to penetrate, irrationally and foolishly, into the secrets of nature? Truly, I tell you that those individuals, along with their pride, power, and science, will come to kneel humbly before my presence, because all human deeds are now reaching the limits set by God. Through their own free will, men will open their eyes to reality, acknowledging the severity of their deeds, the seriousness of their faults, and the magnitude of their errors. I am not implying that all of their deeds are imperfect. No, they are not. But man's effort to help his brethren is so limited, and his good deeds are so few, that it is best that I judge the sins of man. I have given humanity a brief period to conclude its work and to respond to the divine judge when I summon it to judge its deeds. In the meantime, my light is spreading everywhere and penetrating into every spirit. It was my will that those whom I chose to witness my manifestation during this era be prepared, alert, and continue to pray. Thus, while awaiting the hour of my arrival, there would be complete harmony among them as they prepared to listen to my new revelations. However, I have not discovered a true brotherhood among this multitude. Those who have received my new revelations will need to prepare their brethren and become their teachers. Truly, I tell you that I have come to enlighten not only those who dwell on earth, but also those spirits who dwell in other mansions and who have lost their path. I observe that the spiritual beings who want to fulfill my mandates are highly obedient and humble. It is much easier for those beings that lack a material body to become prepared to fulfill their mission during this era. Many of them awaited me after a long restitution, becoming free of their sins and faults. They have elevated spiritually now that I have opened the 6th seal from the Book of 7 Seals. They inspire you to become worthy disciples of the Lord, helping you on your journey. To be able to comprehend the divine teachings, it is necessary for you to analyze my law and to change your sinful behavior. Through that analysis, you will be able to comprehend my word and receive great revelations that you cannot attain through human science. One day, man will respect and love the Father with the respect and love that I am requesting. My manifestation can be understood by all beings. I have spoken to you according to your mental capacity. Otherwise, you will not be able to comprehend all of my wisdom. Do not add anything to my teachings. When you translate them to other languages, do not change the divine essence. Prepare yourself so that your mind will be similar to a clean mirror, reflecting my enlightenment as you carry out your delicate mission on earth. Always be with me. I am the life, the beginning and the end of all things throughout creation. If I have given you a mission that is similar to mine, it is because I love you and I want you to imitate me. Save your brethren, perform miracles, and love one another. When you feel that you have enough strength and faith to carry your cross, go to the homes of your brethren to take my word. Also, journey across the oceans and travel to different lands, for I will be ahead of you, preparing the path. Remain alert, because many wolves, disguised as sheep, want to deceive you and separate you from the true path. You will be able to discover their true intention if you remain alert. If your brethren are suffering and ask you to dry their tears, help them as much as you can. Once you are in the spiritual valley, you will receive greater charity than what you gave on earth. My beloved people, I hear your prayers, just as I heard your psalms in the temple during the first era. However, time has passed and your spirit has evolved. The great temple of Jerusalem no longer exists, because my word has been fulfilled. Therefore, no stone remains from that temple. The ark and the tablets of the law are no longer on the altar. Today, your spirit seeks the truth beyond those material forms and symbols that in the past helped it to believe, to comprehend, and to worship God. The spirit now realizes that those symbols are no longer needed, because it now understands their true meaning. The symbols were only material objects used by God to explain the divine teachings to mankind. Thus, when the student comprehends the divine teaching, he should disregard old practices and rituals and seek to worship God in a spiritual manner. Keep in mind that as long as you need a material symbol to represent me, you will not be able to communicate directly with the Divine Spirit. Be aware that everyone has been summoned to communicate with me from spirit to spirit. Everything that surrounds you during this material life is an image of the eternal life. It is a profound teaching explained with material objects and forms so that you will comprehend it. Man has not yet completely understood that beautiful teaching. Once again, he has become confused because he lives his material life as if it were eternal. He is satisfied with accepting the material forms and objects in life, renouncing all the divine revelations, essence, and truth found throughout creation. If man becomes enlightened by this book and truly understands it, his spirit will be able to enter a new mansion when he departs from this earth. There, he will be able to practice everything that he learned on earth. He will then be able to comprehend many teachings that were revealed to him materially while he was on earth. Study these teachings that the Divine Master has given you so that you will be able to judge your deeds. If you come to the conclusion that you are not progressing spiritually, analyze the reason. Seek to always progress spiritually along your path of evolution. The mission that I have entrusted to the spiritual nation of Israel is great and very delicate. That is why I have sought those people in each era to inspire them with my word and to reveal more things about my law. The law of love, virtue, and justice is the spiritual heritage that I have brought to my people during all 3 eras. I have guided humanity through all my teachings, making it realize that the law is summarized in only one commandment. Love one another. Love the Father, who is the creator of life. Love your brethren, who are a part of the Father. And love all things created by the Father. Love is the origin of everything. It is a seed of wisdom, greatness, strength, elevation, and life. Love is the true path outlined by the Creator for the Spirit, so that as it evolves step by step and journeys to more elevated mansions, it will feel closer to the Divine Father. If man had practiced spiritual love from the beginning of time, instead of falling into idolatrous rituals and religious fanaticism, Earth would have become a valley of peace. However, this world is now a valley of tears due to the misery and anguish of man. If Earth would have become a valley of peace, spirits would have achieved merits, departing to other spiritual mansions as they journey along the path of spiritual evolution. Truly, I tell you, that throughout history, man has never lacked knowledge of my law. Not only has he had a conscience to guide his spirit, but also he has had his intuition and premonitions to guide him. However, after departing from Earth, his spirit returns to the spiritual valley in a state of darkness. I say to you that whoever does not learn the teachings that he needs to learn on Earth will need to return to this planet to finish his restitution and to learn those teachings. Your beliefs regarding the meaning of life, the spirit, and the spiritual valley are incorrect. Many believe that if a person has developed certain virtues, or if he repents for his sins before he dies, he will have earned a place in heaven. That false belief prevents man from fulfilling my law during the time that he is on Earth. Thus, when he departs from Earth and enters into the spiritual valley, his spirit enters a place that is unlike the heaven that he had imagined. Also, the spirit fails to feel the supreme joy that it thought it would feel. Do you know what happens to those beings who were certain that they were going to heaven and instead find themselves confused? Because they lack a material body, they are unable to dwell on Earth. And because they cannot elevate to mansions of spiritual light, they create a world, without realizing it, that is neither human nor spiritual. It is then that those spirits ask, "Is this heaven? After our long journey on Earth, is this the mansion for spirits as destined by God?" No, others say, this cannot be the kingdom of the Lord, where only light, love, and purity should exist. Slowly, through meditation and pain, the spirit begins to comprehend several things. It develops a true comprehension of God's divine justice, and, illuminated by its conscience, it judges its deeds from the past and discovers that they are small and imperfect. Thus, contrary to what it previously believed, the spirit now realizes that it is not worthy of entering into the kingdom of heaven. Having developed that comprehension, the spirit becomes humble and yearns to return to Earth to erase its blemishes, to amend its mistakes, and to achieve true merits before the Divine Father. It is necessary to clarify these mysteries to your brethren. Thus, man will realize that his life on Earth offers him an opportunity to achieve merits, and that these will help his spirit to elevate and to dwell in mansions that are spiritually superior. The spirit must continue to achieve merits so that it may continue to evolve and not become stagnant. Thus, it will ascend step by step, because in the Father's house there are many mansions. You will achieve those merits by practicing deeds of love, as taught by the eternal law of the Father. As you ascend step by step through the ladder of perfection, your spirit will become familiar with the path that leads to heaven. Once your spirit achieves spiritual perfection, it will enter into the kingdom of heaven. Those who approach me, wanting to discover the paths of peace and love, are welcomed. I welcome those individuals and make them aware of their spiritual mission. Disciples, you will work with the Divine Master, and we will work together, traveling through the path that will guide you to the top of the mountain. You will arrive humbly before me, without asking for any specific gift. You will humbly accept whatever I have destined for each of my children. Your spirit has become enlightened, and you have encountered many ordeals along your journey, which have served as important lessons. Therefore, you will no longer allow yourself to be dominated by vanity, desiring greatness in order to be admired and served by others. Who, other than I, is able to govern all spirits and to guide their destiny? No one is able to do that. Thus, when someone else attempts to reign in place of the Lord, he establishes a kingdom according to his desires ambitions, and vanity. It is a kingdom that is filled with materialism and low passions, lacking love, kindness, and charity. One cannot disregard the voice of the conscience, because it is perfectly just. Only pureness and goodness have power over the emotions of a spirit. In other words, a spirit can only be nourished with truth and righteousness. My disciples, even though you observe that you have been gifted with abilities that not everyone possesses, do not consider yourself superior to others. Use your gifts to carry out the Lord's work, because your mission is to practice deeds of love and to dedicate your life to helping your brethren. Destroy the kingdom of vanity that you have created and learn to dominate your human passions. Allow your spirit to manifest its essence, its love, its enlightenment, and its wisdom. Imitate Jesus in every deed that you perform. He was not sent to earth to amend a fault or to be judged by his Father. Christ, who comes to speak to you once again, descended to the hearts of men to establish a kingdom of love, justice, and truth. He did not bring material doctrines or unjust laws to mankind. He did not come to tempt human greed, nor to nourish human passions. He brought a doctrine of love to man, which is the law that governs all spirits. That is why Jesus told the multitudes, "My kingdom is not of this world." You ask me in the most intimate part of your heart, how is it possible for great spirits to become rebellious and to disobey God? I say to you that whoever rebels against me has not yet become great. They are still imperfect spirits who have succeeded in developing only some of their spiritual gifts, but who have ignored developing the others. They have evolved intellectually, but have failed to progress in their ability to practice love, forgiveness, and kindness. That is why I said to you in the past that man does not live by bread alone. In addition to the knowledge that the world offers you, man needs spiritual enlightenment to achieve true perfection. He can obtain that enlightenment only through my teachings. Humanity, you have wandered many centuries through Earth, becoming a slave to your passions. However, that slavery has now ended. This is the era of your spiritual freedom. Today, the spirit will reign over the flesh and will no longer be a slave. The new mansion of the spirit will be the infinite heavens. Soon you will know where you came from and where you are going. Thus, you will learn to give to the world and to the spirit what each needs. I have given you this prophecy to inspire you and to give you faith along your journey of spiritual growth. Those who journey through earth, weeping and suffering, should not believe that I have abandoned them. They are learning patience and becoming purified so that they may join those who follow me. Man will achieve spirituality, eliminating any doubts he previously had. It will help him to return to the right path and to perceive the truth. Men will then agree that the Lord's prophecy has been fulfilled, because he had prophesied that everyone would perceive him. It is necessary for you to know that there is great suffering during this period, because the spirit of man has come to amend his past mistakes, which he still ignores. It has come to cleanse the blemishes he has carried for a long time. You continue to ignore who you are and are not able to recognize the harmful deeds you have done throughout your long journey. Those of you who are now familiar with this revelation should practice patience and submissiveness, because it will help you to elevate and to become purified. I assure you that for now it is not necessary for you to know your past. It is sufficient for your intuition to inform you that in the past you have committed errors which you must now correct. However, I do want you to become familiar with your future through my teachings. That knowledge will allow you to have hope in the future, because the time is coming when man will achieve peace and spiritual enlightenment. In the future, there will be harmony between material and spiritual things. My light will illuminate all paths, and the different religions and sects will perceive only one path: God's law of love. Love will be the universal doctrine that will unify all spirits. My peace be with you.